Years ago, my family had started out of a gas station and my grandfather's gas station, and my dad and my uncle had moved to a building. And we were located in Rockaway, Queens, which is a part of New York City. Urban renewal kind of wiped it out to the point where all of our customers had left. And we were kind of like what we used to call the little house on the prairie. You might have to Google that if you're young. Anyway, it was really so bad. The area why the people had left is the urban plight and criminal activity was just crazy. How crazy, you ask? We made our gates breakaway because they were breaking in through the gates and stripping cars. So we finally made it easier so that we could put them back together. We wouldn't have to replace them. They broke all of our windows. We had them boarded up or gated. They broke all our skylights, boarded up or gated. And finally, the last straw for all of us was they drove through the side of the building with a truck. And I said it was time to go. Be aware, it was so difficult. You think you have a staffing problem? Try recruiting, hiring, and bringing people and retaining them. For the office staff, many of which we had to go and pick them up at their house and drive them in like a chauffeur and then drive them home. That's how bad it was. My brothers and I knew we had one shot to find the right location. So we found a place on Long Island that would be more centrally located to our suppliers, to our routes, to where our customers had moved. And we knew we had one chance to set it up, which is how I got so good at building design. We wanted to put all the great elements in and make it a showcase. And my great friend, Dan Holohan, industry guru, the person who also helped me write the manuals, he said to me, why don't we do that? Why don't we show everything you do along with your training center and training room, but also make the building a showroom? And we had it bright and clean and the envy of the industry, that so much so that people traveled from all over the country to come see us. Matter of fact, the great Ellen Rohr, when she was in the plumbing and heating business with her husband, Hot Rod, took a trip out from Utah just to see the building. Anyway, we're in our building, we're doing all this great stuff, and it really feels good. And then Dan says to me one day, you know, Al, anybody can be great for a day. It's the trick is to be great day after day. Ouch. And what he was really trying to say to me is that inertia sets in, complacency sets in. You're at a high bar, it's easily to drift. And fortunately, I had systems and checklists for keeping things back in. I took a ton of photos of what was right. And when I would find it messy, I would go to the person and go, how do your area look like this? And I actually did it from the old shop, so we didn't carry those sins forward. That's how intent I was to use objective evidence, but to get this shop in great shape, make it the showcase, and keep it this way. So working with clients for 20 years, I watched the same thing happen. We did planning, operations, staffing, sales, marketing, financial, all the 7 powers that I always talk about. And I would watch them start to slide down the hill. One great contractor that I worked with, Jim, we put all the systems together, but at the beginning of the story, they were butting heads. It was us versus them, their staff and management. Put the manuals in place, put the training in place, put the systems in place, had weekly meetings where they got to get their fingerprints on everything. So they had a voice, and we came together and worked as a team, and things calmed down. And Jim would text me periodically long after we did work. More money's flowing in. I love coming to work with these people, more profit, everything that you could imagine in a great way was nice. Anyway, COVID hits in 2020, and Jim later on that year texts me, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we're back to us versus them. So we got to a call and I asked him, I said, Jim, did anything change? He goes, well, because of COVID, we stopped meeting. And I go, whoa, time out. I said, those meetings are essential, those daily, weekly, monthly meetings that we have that are structured, that you have. They are what keeps us on the same page. That's where everyone who has a manual, and they all do, get up and read 1 to 2 pages aloud so that we're keeping it in the culture. And this is, again, where we find better, cheaper, faster. He goes, well, we can't do that. I go, yes, you can. You can run many small meetings and socially distance. You can do Zoom video where they're on there because they're working from home. The staff was working from home. Texts were dispatched from home, or even FaceTime. I don't care, whatever it is. There's never an excuse. You've got to put the meetings back in. So I hang up, don't hear anything. About 3 weeks later, he calls me back up. I can't believe it. It's like nothing ever happened. You know how ServPro says that? All of a sudden, we're back together. And it was the power of meetings is what he rediscovered. Now, there's other things that happen. I've had a situation where a great client started to go too far and making things really difficult, keep putting more and more in. And one day as I was working with him, I go, this isn't what you need to do. We have to focus on the 80 and 20. Time goes by. We're sitting together and he says to me, I finally get it. I go, what do you get? He goes, less done right all the time beats spectacular. And that also helps in this inertia where you start collecting everything and destroying the beauty of all your systems. The last one I'll show you with a great contractor, Mark. When I arrived, he was only in new construction. And we both realized no matter how efficient we got him, that he really wanted to move to residential service and install. And we did. And we got to the point where we had 7 great techs. Mark was happy. I was happy. I was done with my work. That is, I thought I was done. And he calls me up one day and he goes, I just lost 4 of my techs. And here's the problem. None of them left for bad reasons. And so the reality I said is, well, now they're going to think they're in control and you're going to have more problems. So here's exactly what you have to do. You have to go out there and go, look, I know these guys left. So I'm going to take one of the on-call shifts. And here's what you need to know if you stick with me. I'm going to fire that training center back up. We're going to get back to staffing power. We're going to have more apprentices arriving, and we're going to get more trucks on the road. So much so that we're going to have 20 trucks by the end of 2 years. This is my promise to you. Well, as things turned out, in almost 2 years, he had 19 techs. By refiring up the manuals, the training curriculum, and the staffing systems we had put in place, he was back on board. Here's the thing I want you to remember. When you have systems, things in place, and these powers that I talk about, if you even drift, which is natural, because when you push a rock up the hill, when you stop pushing, it comes back as fast as you pushed it up. It's much easier to get the wheels back on the bus, even if they start to wobble and fall off. This is what the great power that you possess with great systems done all the time.